Oh my god, this is just crazy. Oh my god.
I will not pay to have some crackpot old fool teach him magic tricks.
In this video, I'm going to be teaching you Outcast, which is a really fun, really super simple trick where a card is selected and the rest of the deck, including the box, changes colour and leaves the selection as an outcast, standing out from the crowd with a different back design. Straight away, some of you might be thinking that this involves a deck switch, and I can promise you right now, it does not use a deck switch. I know that sounds a bit contradictory, like this trick should use one, but it doesn't. It's the same 52 cards throughout the whole trick, and at the end, everything is completely examinable. So if you want to go on and do other tricks, then you absolutely can do. So without further ado, let's start with a full performance of Outcast, so you can get a good idea of how this works. But bearing in mind, this is not a trick designed for the camera, so yeah, it'll work a lot better in person, trust me.
Never insult Albus Dumbledore in front of me.
The spectator can say stop whenever they like, and it really is a free choice. Let's say they say stop there. Okay, fantastic. We'll go with the next card. So this card right here, we'll take a look at 10 of clubs. 10 of clubs, fantastic. So I'll square these up, and what I'm going to do is put the 10 of clubs just into the middle, like this. In fact, we'll do it really, really fairly on the table, just square it up, like so. Fantastic. And with just a snap of the fingers, or any magical gesture you want, they can even hold the deck at this point. And again, there's no deck switch, you would see that in this small frame. I just turn the deck over, and they begin to see all of the cards are now black, except for one right in the middle, which is of course the 10 of clubs. All of the cards are fully examinable. The box has even changed, and the spectator definitely wouldn't have noticed that. Maybe you did on camera, but this is such a bizarre situation. There's no deck switch here, and yet everything is examinable, and the deck and the box have changed colour. And that is Outcast. First thing to note is about the box. So yes, the misdirection doesn't quite work on camera. I tried my best to adapt it, but just know that in person, when you point out the box has changed, it's like a what, moment, because it sort of happens right in front of them, and yet they don't notice it. The way I'm doing that does involve the close-up mat, but there are ways of getting around it using the close-up mat. So there's a lot going on here, there's a lot to unpack. I will start with the setup of the deck, because we know there's no deck switch, so we as magicians understand that the cards here are being used throughout the whole trick. But to hide the fact that it's a black deck, you use not just one red card, but actually 3 more red cards. I've got an extra black one here. And the final convincer that this full deck is red, when in fact it's not at all, is the box, because we put the red deck in a red box. And I just want to give you this image, so I'll move that out of the way. I just want to give you this image right here. For a spectator, not knowing anything about this deck, this image right here. You just fill in the information. You can't help but think that this is a red deck. You don't at any point need to say to the audience, I'm using a red deck and a red box. You don't need to say that, because they can see it. Without anything being said, they understand that this is a full red deck. And just that psychological thing of having the box there to remind them, they're not going to question it. Honestly, they're not going to question it. It's a brilliant bit of trickery. And the other thing of having multiple red cards on top, you can have as many as you like, I use 4, is the fact that you can now deal them and begin to deal them by showing the back design. And I think that's a great thing. Now from here on out, I'm obviously dealing black cards, so I dealt the 3 red ones and then the black ones. And some of you will already know what move I used to do that, and it is of course the second deal. The first 3 cards I fairly deal. So that's just 3 fair deals. And now I'm executing a second deal. And even, I've got a little camera, obviously I've got a camera, but I've got a little screen next to the camera where I can see what I'm seeing right now. And just looking at it, you can't help but think that these are red cards being dealt to the table. You're fooling yourself while you're doing it because it's so convincing that you're just dealing red cards, that they will not see anything other than that. So the second deal, in case you're not familiar, is just a move where I'm taking the second card and hiding the cards underneath. I have a full video on the second deal, which has currently got, I think, 10,000 views. Madness. So make sure to go and watch that video if you want to fully understand the second deal and all to do with that move, because I use it a few times. I think it's a really helpful thing to know. At this point, it's so important that you don't do this and flash that, because that's bad. So what I do is I just turn again and I peel off that card, and then this goes straight down. You show them the card, in this case the 7 of clubs, and you place that down and you gather these cards up. Now this is a very important moment. Right here is a very important moment, because I've done all the work I need to right now. What I did was, I've now copped away, just a simple move, I've just copped away those red cards. So let's go through that again. Cards come from the table, I riffle and I push forwards. And all I do is I riffle, you know, a few cards. It's a few more than 3. It's not tons of cards. I don't need to, you know, do half the deck or anything like that. It's just a few cards so that I definitely get rid of the red ones. Going back over that one final time, here's what it looks like. The selection's on the table, you take the cards, and if you think about what I'm trying to imitate here, essentially what I'm doing, without any special moves, without any special sleight of hand, what I'm imitating is picking the deck up, putting this card in here, and then coming down and squaring it up. That's what I'm imitating, okay, without the special sleight of hand. I didn't do any moves then. But if I now add the moves in and do exactly what I'm trying to replicate, what I just did, and I add the moves in, it shouldn't be any shorter. It shouldn't be any longer. It should just be exactly what it looks like. Except this time I've taken the cards away. So you just riffle them into your hand, they're in your hand, and almost immediately they're down under the table as you kneel down to come closer to the props. So if you're worried about copping cards, this is the perfect trick to begin to cop cards, because you've got them copped for like a couple of seconds and then they're away and no one will see it. As soon as I come down, I can put these in my pocket if I want to, but what I did in the performance was just lay them on the ground. I just simply let go. I mean, my hand is like that far away from the ground, it's not going to be loud, it's not going to be noisy. I just lay them down on the ground and I square this in. Once the card is in the deck, I can do anything presentationally that I want here. But the important thing to note is that the box is quite far forward. And that'll be important in a moment, but essentially it's presentation. You do whatever you want, whatever gesture you want to change the deck. You turn the deck over. This is a big moment for the audience, because some of them will already be one step ahead when they see this. They'll realise what has happened, that the whole deck has changed. You turn this over, you show that, it's a bit of a mind-frying moment. And then you go to spread the rest of the cards. What I'm going to do is riffle. I want to do that, okay? But I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to do it further forward. You want to aim to do it near where the box is. And the reason you're doing that is so that you can get the box out of the picture. So the justification for moving the box to then switch it is that the box is sort of in your way. So you go to spread, the box is in your way, and then you spread, okay? So it's a tiny little thing. Again, you don't say any of this, it's just you go to spread, oh, the box is there, I'll move that, and then you spread. And when you do that, you're going to be switching the box. Because something I've not mentioned until this point, if I move everything off the mat, is this. I'm going to turn it around and show you this right here. If you don't have a close-up mat, that's completely fine. You can use a table mat, you can use a tablecloth, you can even use, like, if tables have little grooves, which some of them do, you just need one little fold of the top of the box to be sandwiched between it, so that you have the box ready and waiting just below the table's surface. And from the other side, I mean, obviously you can't see it because it's been there the whole time. And spectators will not notice that that is where the box is. And it makes it so easy to do the switch. So putting everything back, we've got the box here. I've just done the reveal of turning this over. I show, I then go to riffle, and as I do, I move the box out the way, and this sort of happens in one sweeping action. I will show you what happens. So, if I just go back from the start, it's a little bit difficult to do slowly just because I'm used to doing this at speed, but I will try and break this down. You turn it over, you show, reveal, you go to spread, you move the box, you spread, you pop that down, you don't point attention to it, it's just the box has come here, it goes down, it comes here, and then you show that the deck has changed. Now, the interesting thing is, the audience aren't going to notice this, and even if they do, it's not a big deal, because what's happening here, what the focus, the entire attention is, all of these cards have changed, and as you come, you spread, you show the red one in the middle. They can even take that out and turn it over. I've had it until the very last minute, they're turning it over, they've reacted, the trick is almost over, and at the very last second, just as they're coming down from the reaction of the trick, I go, and did you notice the box change? And then it's like a second wave, it's like a second reaction, because they just don't see it. There are 52 reveals in a way happening over here. They're much more interested in the deck changing. They're not expecting anything to do with the box because you've not mentioned the box, you've not drawn attention to the box. You just simply take the red one from here, it comes down, you ditch it, so I'll use the red one. At this point the black one is in position just below the table. With the box, ignoring the deck for a moment, you just pick it up, you come to the edge, you drop it here, you pull this one out of its hiding spot and it goes there. And with the spreading of the deck and with the focus right here, you can even lean right over it and hide this just completely behind the deck. It just goes there, and then your hands, both hands are here, and you're spreading, you're touching the cards, you're pulling this one out. You don't necessarily turn it over yourself, you can let them do that, but your hands are here, your eyes are here, your entire focus is here, and they're just not going to see this. That's the truth of it, they're just not going to see this happen, because why would they? Why would they expect that to be a thing? That is the whole trick, I'm pretty sure. I think I've explained everything to do with this. It's quite simple. There's only really two moves. You know, the box thing isn't a special move, you literally just drop it here and then grab the one that's right next to it. Obviously you need to know the second deal, but the customizations that you can do to this trick are endless. You don't even have to use the box thing. If you're worried about the box thing, fine, don't use it. If you don't like the idea of dropping the cards that you have to ditch on the floor, then put them in your pocket. If you don't like the idea of doing a second deal, then do a bottom deal. If you don't like the idea of using multiple red cards, then just use one red card, just have that on top, do the second deals, and you've got no cards to ditch then. So if you're worried about ditching the cards and copying them away, you don't have to. There are so many customizations you can make to this trick. There really is no, set way of performing it. If you're not happy about certain elements, there are just hundreds of ways to change it. It's a deck switch without a deck switch, in a way. The trick is the deck switch, and yet there isn't one. But there we go, that is Outcast. I've really enjoyed teaching this, and I hope you have enjoyed learning it. So there we have it, that is the tutorial section of this video over. And if you're unfamiliar with my channel, I don't just do tutorials, I do all sorts of videos where I react to magic, talk about magic, all things magic. I do live streams on this channel as well, it's not just videos. Every so often I go live and I give out a load of prizes every time I do. We play games, we have a bit of fun. It's great. The last live stream I did, I gave out magic downloads, magic tricks, there was a deck of cards up for grabs, an Amazon gift voucher, someone won one of those in the last live stream. So if you want to be part of all those giveaways, you can turn on the notification bell as well. That means that you get notified when I post a video, when I go live, all of those great things. And also, one prize that was won in the last live stream was a shout out. So, the winner of that was Tom Gibbons. Make sure to go and follow his Instagram, which is right here. He won a shout out, and so help him with his prize. I've really enjoyed making this video. It is a short, sweet, to the point trick with a simple method and yet for spectators, a really powerful effect. So there we go. Thanks for watching, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to click the thumbs up button down below. Subscribe as well if you're new and you haven't seen a video from me before, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
I think you're gonna have to be gentle. We're gonna have to go very slow.
Oh